Hey guys, it's Scott from fxmissions.com. Just a note, I've finished the trilogy of anthologies from the forefront, and all 3 books are currently available on Amazon.
Take your leadership to the next level. It's time for the Foundational Missions Leadership Moment with Scott McClelland of FX Missions.
Hey, Scott McClelland here with you. All right. Hey, just a little housekeeping item here on what you're about to enjoy. This is a multi-part series with Caleb Lorensen. Caleb took time to join us from his home in Chiang Mai, Thailand. The audio sounds awesome. Trust me, I know. But I think you're going to really enjoy this series. He took some time and broke it down with me about one of the leaders he's come to recently admire. I think you're going to maybe feel the same way. Jean Vanier. Anyway, it's a French name, and I, according to the French, cannot do very good with my accents. I'm not going to argue. But nonetheless, this is a very inspiring character. This is a multi-part series. Caleb, I think, sits in with us for 4 sessions. So you're going to want to check all those out. Straight ahead, coming at you, Profiles in Leadership from the Leadership Moment with Caleb Lorensen from Chiang Mai, Thailand.
You know, the highest form of intelligence is to hold 2 opposing thoughts in the mind at the same time and still be able to function.
Yeah.
And that's hard. I mean, it really is hard, but it's worthwhile. Yeah. And I think it works to our depth when we consider people who are different from us.
Yeah.
And in some ways, we might find something out important about our own calling.
Yeah.
From these guys that are so different. Do you think that's true in this case of yourself?
Yeah. And I got to throw another quote that he said. He says, if we let ourselves be attracted to those who flatter us or who are like us, who share ideas, then we won't grow. Growth will come as we come closer to people who are different from us, and as we learn to welcome and listen even to those who trigger off our pain. And so that's right in line with what you just said.
Oh, wow.
It's that. And I think that because I'm in personally a painful season, reading a leader who says, listen to the people triggering your pain because there's growth in it. It is that uncomfortable opposing thought that I need to sit with and listen to and allow the Holy Spirit to lead me through instead of just ignoring it and trying to soldier on or whatever it may be. So,
yeah.
So I think that
right, and maintain your perspective or whatever, or your pain or whatever you're trying to maintain. Yeah, for real. Again, back to and I did not have that in front of me when I was saying what I was saying there. So
no, you said
thank you, Jean.
It reminded me of a note I made with that quote. So it was perfect.
Hey, I'm glad to be tracking with Jean. He sounds like a good guy to be tracking with, and I'm thankful for his life and the consequence of his humanity that clearly was animated by the Spirit of the Lord in so many ways. I want to also say, again, back to the differences thing, you know, we got to be sure that we honor all people.
Yes.
I mean, I think we think we get a pass when we, honor the people who are like us or the ones we agree with.
Yeah.
And to sit and listen to someone who is completely different from you and has a different life experience or different opinions or perspectives, to sit and listen to that person is a part of honoring them.
Absolutely.
And not just so you can convince them of your perspective.
Yeah.
Not just so you can just wait till they shut up and overwhelm them with irrefutable proof, So we've got to honor each other if we're going to learn. And to be dogmatic is to be really mentally alone.
Yeah.
So I think that we want to not do that. We want to take steps to be growing, and we want to take steps to be honoring others. Bro, wow, we're running out of runway here. Let's do a few things.
Yes.
Probably got 3-4 minutes left. I'd like to just do a little bit of a recap and anything else you wanted to make sure and mention. And then as we wrap up, I want to make sure you mention the resources that you had used to learn what you know about Jean Vanier. And so in case people want to dig a little deeper, or they're feeling especially encouraged or motivated here, we want to give them that access to that. So what else do you think there, bro?
Okay. One thing that I want to mention, in one podcast interview that I listened to, he talked about something that you and I have talked about, and it goes along with leadership. The person asked him, why is it that you think that what would be my generation, this kind of millennial, struggles with trust and commitment so much? What's going on?
Yeah.
And his answer was essentially, our generation has been manipulated and lied to so many times for other people's purposes that they don't want to trust anymore, and they don't want to join causes anymore. And it made me think about something that you've talked about, is the trap of overpromise and underdeliver.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that. And that's where I think his antidote for that is this almost extreme emphasis on pain and brokenness and difficulty of life, as to, hey, I promised you pain, so now let's come and talk about it. Instead of this this essentially over-promising and under-delivering. And it made me think about the number of times where I've partnered with somebody or joined as a part of a group, and in the end, what they were saying it was really not what it was.
Yeah.
And absolutely, I think in leadership, I personally hope to avoid that. Yeah. I mean, even as currently, I'm a classroom teacher in other areas of my life, and I don't want to stand up in front of my students in the morning and tell them we're going to do A, B, C, D, but then we don't do that.
Right.
So we want we want our message to also be our life, and that alignment is so essential. And I think that's something that we see in Vanier that is unique, especially in this unfortunate era of Instagram leadership.
Dude. Well, I think if we step back from that fact or that reality, the phenomenon that you're describing there, we can realize quickly that a lot of leadership, and I could name names. I'm not going to do it, but a lot of
we can think of them in our own head.
Yeah, fill in the blank here.
Yeah,
we'll say what appears to be anything to create motivation.
Yeah.
And motivation that is serving to the leader's intent, or to the leader's program, or to the leader's wish list, or to the leader's agenda. I mean, sorry for the repetitiveness there.
Yeah.
I think as leaders, we got to recognize that for the travesty that it is.
Yeah.
God is going to hold us responsible for saying anything just so we could motivate.
Yeah.
You've been there. I've been there. We've all been there. That is darkness. That's animated by the evil one. And I don't care what your name is, or what what seat you occupy, or how you're regarded with your long and flowing robes and greetings in the marketplace.
Yeah.
The Lord's not going to let us go on that.
Yeah.
Very, very powerful. I would love to revisit. Well, I don't think we've done a ton we've only gotten to flip over the first lid of this thing. Give us really quick where we can get a hold of those resources. Anybody that wants to contact you.
Yeah. So if you pop Jean Vanier, JeanVaner in the Amazon, there's quite a few books, and I've read a number of them. The biography called Portrait of a Free Man is a really good overview of the journey and some great anecdotes. And then From Brokenness to Community is fantastic devotional type reading. And Becoming Human, I'm really interested in that one. And let's see, I've read a few others I can't think of off the top of my head. He did a few podcast interviews later in life that if you can take the time to sit down and imagine you're sitting next to the grandpa you never had, that was close to Jesus his whole life and just soak it up. I highly recommend it. One is from a podcast called, I want to say it's called Becoming. Christina Tippett, I think is the name. Mm-hmm. And the OnBeing podcast. And then there's another one called The Contemplative Revolution. He has a 3-part series that's amazing if you're looking at deepening your life of prayer.
You got to shoot me those links so I can put them in the show notes.
Yeah. And then the last one is go on YouTube and you just see him. He's a funny guy in his stature and the way he presents himself. And it's amazing to see. He's kind of frumpy, but powerful. And so it just tears down all that stuff that we're obsessed with. And, and it's so refreshing. I just hope there's another 30-something person listening to this podcast who feels like they need a refreshing dose of authenticity in a world of what seems to be a lot of falseness.
Dude, we can all benefit from that. Please do send the links and give my greetings to your family and coworkers there. Hugs all around.
Will do.
I really appreciate your friendship for all this time. And I'm thankful to be standing with you, bro, for God's greatest and highest that may look simpler than we imagine. All right, bro. Blessings, many, many blessings. If someone wants to reach out to you in reference to this, should they do that at Gmail or what's best?
Gmail is fine. Gmail is good. Yeah, I like Gmail.
Yeah.
I just joined Twitter, but I don't have a...
Bro, Twitter is people only go there to fight.
Oh, there was some articles I wanted to read that I could only get if I was a Twitter member.
So there you go. Well, if you want to watch a good fight,
go to Twitter.
Twitter's the place to go. It was Twitter, then UFC. They actually outrank UFC for watching a good fight. So blessings to you, bro. But I'll link up your stuff there. Again, pass my greetings and love to each one there. I am Scott McClelland, and this is your FX Missions Leadership Moment Profiles in Leadership series with Caleb Lorensen and Jean Vanier. Many blessings to you. Let us know if we can do anything for you or can help clarify anything you've heard today. You can reach us at fxmissions.com.
This leadership moment was produced in partnership with Engaging Missions. Have your leadership question answered by contacting Scott at fxmissions.com. Visit FX Missions to learn more about how you can grow your leadership and engage in missions. Visit engagingmissions.com for encouragement, insight, and resources from missionaries, ministry leaders, and church planters.